I'm going to introduce a friend of mine, and I want to give you a little background of how we met. A handful of us had just gotten back from Liberia, and we decided to get together at the church and just kind of share our testimony to some of the guys that weren't able to go on the trip, and just thought it'd be a good time to get together. So we got that date set. It was on a Wednesday. That Sunday before that meeting, I got a call from another buddy of mine that says, man, I'm in Waco. I'm at a church. I went to the wrong church. Long story. There's a guy from Liberia here, and I think you're supposed to meet him. Well, just being goofy enough to believe that guy, I said, well, just tell him to call me. So Eric called me that afternoon and said, hey, man, and I'm from Liberia. I hear y'all are doing things there. I'd love to meet you sometime. And I said, well, when are you leaving Waco? He said, well, I'm leaving here Wednesday, and I'm going back home. And I said, why don't you just make a little detour? We're having a little get-together. Love to have you there. Have no idea what we're going to do with you there, but come on up. Love to, introduce you to these guys. So I want to bring Eric up at this time and let him kind of tell you from a Liberian's perspective what he saw that afternoon when he walked into a room with 10 white guys sitting there talking about his country.
Good evening, everybody. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, that's funny, I remember that morning, I think it was around 10 o'clock in the morning. First time driving to Dallas, first time driving to Rockwall. And with a GPS, and coming from Africa, it's kind of tough to use a GPS in the States. So I went in circles. Eventually, I got to the church, and I walked into this room. The church was so big, I didn't know which way to go. So I was kind of confused, So the lady eventually directed me upstairs. I got to the room, and I saw these guys sitting, everyone in tears. I'm not start wondering. What's going on here? People like cry babies, And I heard the guy who brought me to this meeting told me these are businessmen. But they don't appear like businessmen, How can they be crying like this and run a business,
Hey, Mark, I told him he wasn't going to say this, okay? I'm so sorry.
They cry in the room. And I sat down to listen to what was going on. And for an hour and a half, the whole meeting was about my country, Liberia, the needs. And what I heard them say was, we going to bring solution to this problem in Liberia. And then I laugh in my spirit. I'm like, this is the way life has been forever in Liberia. And you have 10 guys or 9 guys in this room talking about bringing solution to a nation's problem that have been there forever. How is that going to happen? So I left the room, went back to Liberia, and here am I today. I'm back, and they are having barbecue and drinking and trying to raise money to solve that problem. Isn't that amazing? It's truly amazing. My name is Eric. I'm from Liberia. Born and raised in Liberia. My mom's from Liberia. Everybody from Liberia. When the war started in Liberia, I became a refugee at the age of 12. Left Liberia. Spent 16 years of my life in the refugee camp around Africa. The U.S. government eventually, by the intervention of God, picked me up from Nigeria in the refugee camp to Lafayette, Louisiana, on a refugee relocation program. So I'm the only African Cajun down there in the South. But then I met this guy. But this is what I want to say tonight. For most of you who don't know, Liberia has a close relationship with the United States. And to be number 2 poorest country in the world is just unbelievable. Having been to the States myself, it's hard to wrap it. My brain. Congress bought Liberia for $100,000. Make a research on that. The U.S. Congress bought Liberia. The flag, the government, the Constitution were written right here. It was founded by free American slaves who went back to Africa in the 1800s. The name Liberia comes from the word liberty. The capital city is Monrovia, named in honor of President James Monroe. So there's a whole lot of history there. But it's amazing what's going on down there. Before I continue, I just want to clarify this tonight. I know everywhere I go in this country, people tell me, why Liberia? There's so much need, even here in the United States. And then I look at them, I laugh, and I said to them, in America, there's no poverty. It's a mindset. It's something in your brain that tells you that poverty exists, but it doesn't really exist in America. I have not seen it. I've been here for 6 years on and off. I go home to Liberia to work and come back here and work. At least the poor in America has a food stamp. They can go to the store and choose what they want to eat and choose what they want to drink. They live in an apartment building, maybe 2 bedrooms. They have a car parked in the driveway with an iPhone. That is not poverty. They don't live below $1 a day. The least in America makes at least $8 an hour, minimum wage. In Liberia, $8 an hour, you got to be the president of Liberia to make that. So poverty exists in the mind because that's what we think. I live in Liberia, and the water issue you've been hearing about tonight is real. This is the way we have lived all our lives. And for me to be in this room tonight, when I met them first, there were 9 guys said they were going to change Liberia. Tonight, I'm seeing more than 9 persons in here. And I'm just beginning to believe that it's possible because I see the rest of the guys here tonight. And I hope I'm proving wrong. Tonight, I'm going to take some pictures and email it quick to Liberia to some of my guys and say, hey, watch out. Water is on the way to Liberia. But I want to show you a video of one of the communities that I live in when I go home, in a school that I built. This is the school right here. We have to measure that water in that cup for every child to drink when they come to school. It doesn't matter if you get thirsty 5 times, you only got 1 cup to drink. There's a team in Indiana called Hope to Liberia 2. Drill this water. This is the day we are waiting for water to arrive for the very first time in this community of 17,000 people. Look at celebration of water. The whole community celebrated the arrival of water forever. This is what it's been like. And I'm right here. I'm in the middle of this just 4 weeks ago. I'm in the middle of this. The whole community, we've never seen that before. So it's a celebration. Why, as in the United States, all you need to do is to walk into the kitchen and open the tap and it will gush out. And you know, it was a celebration. Just a handful of people, few people that said, we're going to change this community. This school, not just the school, but the entire community have now a running water. For us, this is miracle. You don't have to raise the dead. This is miracle for the whole community. Now there's warm water. The people now have a place to come and get their water. For the children in the community, they've never seen this before. You know, so this was amazing. A hose is something that we all know. We play with it in the States. But here, the kids have never seen that before. So it's fun. Well, put your hands together for Jesus, please. This was not happening before I met these guys. And I met them, it's not even up to a year yet. It's about 6 months ago. And after meeting them before my very eyes, when I go to Liberia, I got to measure the water I get to drink myself. Most nights we don't take bath because a whole bucket of water for you to bath with could help quench the thirst of some people. But to watch this happen in the twinkling of an eye is unbelievable. Even today we have water for the flowers in the garden. We have water for everybody. 2,500 gallons of water is flowing through that community today. From some people we have never met. Some people that these guys would never get to meet themselves. But before I take my seat tonight, I want to say this to you, that it's tough for me to stand up here and tell you about all these problems. Not that people are looking for a handout. This is not a handout right here. This is the natural problem. Okay, and none of us chose to be born in Liberia. God never came to me and said, Eric, I'm about to create you tonight or this morning, but I want you to decide where you want to spend the rest of your life. Will you love if I place you in Liberia? Will you love to be a Liberian? Will you love to be a refugee? Will you love to live in the circumstances like this? He didn't ask me about that. There was no consultation about that. And I believe that many of you in this room, the same way with you, you never chose to be born in Texas or wherever you were born. God planned it that way. But this is what I'm doing in my ministry with my work with THELASTWELL. It's to build a bridge between the hearts here and the mind. I mean, the mind and the hearts. They got to be a bridge. In Liberia, you saw those children laughing because of that water. Their hearts is pure, it's clean. but the mind, they are not that smart. Education is not there. They cannot do a business to make profits. So they are materially poor, but spiritually rich. And then I come to America, I see a lot of smart guys since I've been here as a refugee. The mind works right, but the heart, in most time, is disconnected. So my job is to tell these people here it's possible the last word is going to bring water to the whole nation. They don't believe it because it has never happened before. And then you come to the U.S. and you say, well, the Americans can help to solve this problem. And the Americans say, no, we can't do that. It's impossible. We don't have what it takes to solve it. But when I walk into that room that morning with tired in the meeting and heat, and these guys are crying about Liberia, I was humble. That's my country. But it all happened because these guys stepped out of the boat. In the Bible, Jesus had his disciple one day, and he told them to go to the other side of the lake. He said, I got to send the crowd away, and I'm going to go to the other side, and I'll meet you there in a little while. But you go ahead, I'll meet you there. Jesus knew exactly what was going to happen to them on the other side. Your comfort zone is a destroyer of your destiny in God. It's a destroyer of your future. Because you become complacent, you become comfortable where you're at, and you tune out what's going on sometimes. But this guy, the reason why they talk about this passionately is because they stepped out of the boat. 12 men went water walking to change the world, but only one man succeeded. They saw Jesus. He was like a ghost because they saw him on the other side. He was a different Jesus that day. And Peter said, Lord, if it is you, ask me to come. And Jesus said, come on. Peter did not have time to sit in the boat to ask the rest of the disciples whether it made sense to go water walking 3 a.m. in the morning. He just took that leap of faith, and he walked. And from that day to today, the whole world changed. We know the story. Tonight, we are in this boat here, and you have heard the story. The information has been given to you. And I believe God is looking for some more Peters tonight that would take that leap of faith and say, I'm going to step out to do this. Last night I was sharing with Heath at his house. Can I have that flower in the middle there, please? Live flower. Thank you. The whole, yeah, good, thank you. There's something I want to demonstrate to you real quickly, and I'll have my seat. I was brought here by the U.S. government, and when I got here, they said, Eric, you can become an American citizen. You don't have to go back to Liberia anymore. You don't have to deal with that. But I had to go back home because I never took my identity. I never chose my identity. So I'm still a permanent resident. I'm not an American citizen. And I love it that way because that's who God made me to be. That's my story. When you plant a seed and the seed grows, Jesus said, I'm the true vine. And who are the branches? Who are the branches? We are the branches, right? God is the gardener. Jesus is the true vine. And the followers are what? The branches. Out of the three, who gets to bear the fruit? The vine, the gardener, or the branches? Who gets to bear the fruit? The branches bear the fruits. But have you ever seen a tree eat its own fruit? After bearing? Hello? No. An apple tree eats its own fruit. Have you ever seen that before? An orange tree get upset because everybody is eating the fruit? No. That's just an example I want to show you tonight. That God nourishes you to bear fruits, not for your personal comfort or for you to eat. It's that the people around you to eat. The Bible says that be not deceived, whatever a man sows, so shall he reap. When you invest into the lives of others, God is going to invest into you. When you smile at me, I'll smile back at you. As we have all eaten here tonight, it's just a matter of time. We are all going to go to the restroom in a little while. You drink water, you got to pass water. You eat food, you got to go to the restroom. You breathe in, you must breathe out. If you don't breathe out, what happened to you? You died. So I want you to try, or for other of us to unclog the pipe. The pipe is clogged. That's why a small country like Liberia, with a relationship with America, cannot be changed.